Content warning for ACAB, always, discussion of gender dysphoria, villainy, mind control, tear gas, gender shifting, transgender discussion, body modification. Thank you and enjoy the video, darlings.
Hey, Star, I kinda like this Miss Volta person. And ooh, Miss Carmen, she's amazing. And she's part Creole, Star. And Miss Syntax wrote a really good book. I'm so excited for the next book. Star? Stardust? Star!
Oh, hang on. Rammy, it's an iPod. Hang on just 1 second. Yes, Rampart?
I was talking, Star. What are you doing now?
Books on tape, dear. I'm sorry.
Oh, something normal for once. Can I guess? Let me guess. Last Unicorn? No. Hitchhiker's Guide? No. The Steve Wozniak biography? I don't know.
No, darling. It's another core story.
Oh, is it this? Wait, did they do a book on tape of this already?
No, dear. It's another story.
There are more stories? More sexy girls blowing things up?
Oh, and I love them all. But yes, the blowing things up part at least.
Yeah, I'm reading this book. I could go online and spoil the ending, but I kind of want to support Miss Syntax, so I'm waiting for part 2 to get released on Fur Planet. But the story you're listening to, is it free?
Remember, dear, I'm a villain. They're all free stories. It's nice to financially support the publishing of a book, but there's many authors whom just simply won't be published. However, I do hope dear Brenda gets picked up for a book deal. Chemical Catalysis definitely deserves to be in print.
Chemical Catalysis. Is that one of the heroes? I mean, is it a villain? Is it a villain? It's a villain, right?
Kinda. Let's recap a little brother. So we can catch up, test your knowledge of what you remember and what you've learned about the organization that I align with.
Ooh, I can ace this. I'm very good.
Okay, Rampart. What's my name and my affiliation?
Well, Your name is Stardust, but you're an agent in the Corps. But your real name's Judy, and but that means your evil name is Stardust.
Mm-hmm. And what is the Corps?
Ooh, it depends on who you ask. If you ask regular people, the Corps is an evil organization trying to take over the world. They say that Corps members wear mind control glasses that erase your personality and make you a mind slave. You fight against the police and heroes because you're evil and want to try to hurt America. But if you ask one of you, you're a group of marginalized people who empower yourselves by punching up, not punching down. Your glasses do help your mind, but only with consent, and they help you organize your thoughts and govern negative feelings you might be having. You fight against the status quo because the status quo is a capitalist hellscape that leaves people broken and poor.
And why do we call ourselves villains, darling?
Easy. The Corps got labeled that way, so you lean into the title. It's really because you try to live your life the way you feel most suits your needs, which is usually against societal norms.
Excellent, little brother. Good job. You've been learning. I'm very impressed.
Ooh, thanks, sis. So, about your podcast.
Oh, yes, my dear, podcast. Let's not call it that. It's still just a story. I just happen to have a spoken word version of Brenda's story.
Oh, wait, they work for Volta, don't they? Yeah, and they got awesome lightning powers too, right?
Not quite, dear. They do know each other, yes. But where should I start with dear Brenda?
Well, there's always the beginning.
Fair, my little brother, very fair. Okay, well, last time we talked, it was about a direct conflict that may have painted everything a tad black and white, good and bad. Volta and the TPA. These are great examples of great conflict literature, person versus person. However, chemical catalysis shows us the life of someone kind of normal. They have a normal job. They're not picking a side other than to help people. Brenda poses the question of what if? What if there's a person out there that didn't directly fight in power fights, but rather performed as a non-combatant? The person looking out for the little guy. A catamount that was neither a villain nor a hero, but still just as vulnerable and thoughtful as the best of us. Someone more interested in the preservation of life rather than loot or some perverted form of justice.
So, Miss. Is it Miss? It's Miss. Wait, Prrf. Why do you keep saying that?
Well, in the beginning it is Miss Brenda or Mr. Bryn. Either pronouns at this point. You see, they have a little bit of a Dr. Jekyll and Ms. Hyde thing going on, but without the sinister overtones. But for your sake, Rampart, we'll use female pronouns. That's how Miss Brenda identifies at this point in Prrf. Well, we'll get to that.
Now, Miss Brenda, she had multiple pronouns?
Well, in the first chapter of Chemical Catalysis, A Day in the Life of the Chemical Cat, we meet Brenda, whom has a unique circumstance. She shifts her gender frequently between boy and girl. She has a boy mode named Bryn and a girl mode named Brenda. It's established that Brenda was assigned male at birth and at some point gained a girl mode option. He was curious as to how the other half lived and experienced life, so he did something about it using mad science. She can't control the shifting, however, so it's a revolving door of gender identity. I won't give too much away, however, Brenda has telekinetic powers that are natural to her.
Telekinetic. I don't speak Villain Star. What's that?
Oh, my dear, excuse me. Telekinetic, they can lift objects using their mind. Brenda could lift the television remote or grab a soda from across the room. Their ability is much greater than simple chores or fetch me a can of Girl Monster from the fridge. Simple parlor tricks that she doesn't show off to anyone. She keeps it to herself so she can be the chemical cat when the need strikes. Brenda works for a chemical lab company that makes esoteric promises that sound better as bumper stickers. This career enables her brilliant mind to concoct chemical compositions that will aid in her quest to preserve life and rescue innocent people from both the Corps and the police.
So she changes genders a lot? And her powers sound so cool. I would use them to grab celery from the fridge. And she doesn't show them off? And she's smart, like actually smart, like smart, not like you.
Oh, I'll let that one slide, Rampart. You see, sometimes the curiosity or wonder of gender is enough to make you dabble. The longing to look a certain way. For Brenda, she found her relief through, however fictional, chemical experimentation. However, it kind of messed up her genome a tad. Due to the randomness of her gender shifting, Brenda is forced to dress somewhat non-binary daily because she never knows if Bryn will show up or if Brenda will make it home. She lives in a constant state of euphoria and dysphoria due to her constant gender shifting. She's the type of girl to keep a spare pair of pants in the desk, just in case it started as a skirt morning and ended in a pants afternoon. Being a girl made her happy, while being a boy didn't hurt her, but it left her less happy. She's now stuck forever shifting without any control. She has no say-so in when it happens or how. She works in a laboratory with chemicals daily, mixing compounds and creating what she hopes will be life-saving or quality-of-life improving solutions. Thusly, her unrestricted access to chemicals allows her to perform her side role as the helpful hero-adjacent type semi-super, the Chemical Cat. As for their powers, well, it's better to keep some things a secret, dear Rampart. How many cougars do you know that have an educated mind, access to chemicals you or I would never even know how to mix, and can use their mind to lift a sofa? If her secret got out, it could endanger her. She doesn't hate the Corps, but the police seem to do more damage without regard for innocent life that could be affected by power battles. If it was known that she was the Chemical Cat, it could cause problems. Litigation, responsibility, guilt can all be repercussions of being out. However, as the Chemical Cat, she can have her cake and perfect too. The gender thing as well, it's explained as a genetic mutation. Most of her colleagues just accept her for who she is. Sometimes she's Brenda, sometimes he's Bryn. Given the space and time this catamount exists, it's only natural with superpowered heroes that it would be a logical assumption. However, I think this explains the Chemical Cat well.
So that's her name, just the Chemical Cat. I mean, kinda cool, but I would workshop it a little bit, do something a little bit more fun.
Oh, darling. That's actually her neutral name, Rampart. She doesn't pick a side at first. She's just there to rescue people. She'll wear a mask to protect her identity. She has premixed chemicals that can perform certain tasks like freezing or making things sticky or even making metal brittle, things that she might need to rescue others. She's well known in St. Louis as the Chemical Cat and has a long-standing reputation as the city's helper. She just wants to do the right thing, not fight for or against the police or the Corps. Like I said, honey, she just wants to do the right thing. However, the Chemical Cat crosses the line when her conscience weighs anchor. I don't wish to give away too much now, so spoilers from here on out, my friends. Please turn off this video if you don't wish to be exposed to classified content. I'll give you a moment to think it over. Have you thought it over? Very well then, let us continue. One day during a protest in St. Louis, a protest that Volta is a participant thereof, the Chemical Cat plays witness to the police deploying chemical warfare that causes instant fur loss with a tear gas chaser, similar to how police will now use paint to mark protesters so they may detain and prosecute later on after the protest has ended. Anyone without fur is marked as a terrorist. The Chemical Cat has had run-ins with Police Captain Stern, a super with the police of St. Louis. They don't exactly see eye to eye. She wants to minimize a loss of quality of life. However, Stern will do anything to maintain law and order. It's a fascist mentality like his that makes him such a threat. The ends justify the means. This will keep the Chemical Cat busy as they clean up what is mainly the mess that the police cause. Once the fur be gone and tear gas is deployed, the Chemical Cat cannot, in any good conscience, allow the gas to settle over more of the crowd than it has. So, she uses her telekinetic powers to move the canisters away from the protesters and back towards the police. In her moment of defiance, however, the Chemical Cat cries out no and gives away her position, catching the eye of Captain Stern. Thus begins a chase that almost ends Brenda and Bryn for good, if it had not been for a certain villain intervening. You see, Volta, is able to save the Chemical Cat from having her teeth kicked in by Stern. However, she's been unmasked, she's been on the news, she's exposed. And worse, her boss at Sigma Eldritch, the company she works for, they're able to figure out that the missing chemicals might have been used by Brenda for her Chemical Cat purposes. She is given a second chance with Sigma Eldritch, however, in another office elsewhere in Maryland. She's able to move in with her best friend, a cheetah dragon hybrid named Zeely in Virginia. It's here she stumbles across another Puma, Mabel Greysmoke, one of the Corps' most popular villains. She's being given an opportunity to do some good. Mabel wishes to borrow Brenda to break into her old St. Louis lab. Mabel has a target. Brenda would have access to her old chemical locker and could restock her chemical concoctions. Here we meet the dearest of Phoenix named Autumn Rainsford, a pilot for the Corps, a pilot that someday, Rampart, I intend to tell you at length about. Hint, hint. She and her plane ferry Mabel and Brenda to the St. Louis lab for one more stint. And once again, my dears, spoilers. I'll give you a moment to think it over. If you've made it this far, you might as well stay. Are you ready? Let us continue. Mabel was half revealing her truths. She wanted access to the lab Brenda used to work in, but the truth is Mabel could have gained access at any time. It was an opportunity for the Corps to assess Brenda as trustworthy. However, the surprise inside Sigma Eldritch is quite shocking, but the actions Brenda Derlin takes that night reveal more about her character and her own abilities than she was even aware of, and thus turns her from the non-combatant chemical cat into villain adjacent, the Catalyst. Brenda discovers her work is being used to create a weaponized chemical agent, something extraordinarily lethal. And because she had a paw in its creation, she thus has to make the conscious decision to try and destroy this dangerous chemical agent. Of course, she's fired when it's discovered her badge gained her access into the building. As she's being fired, it's revealed that Mabel was actively working on gathering information to expose the company to the public, to take out the company and remove them from doing any more harm to society. Without a job and her new knowledge of the Corps, she joins Mabel for a chance meeting at Taco Bell, one that might just propel her into Puma infamy. As I said a while ago, her entire fiction should be considered for publishing into a proper book at some point in time. Fur Planet, I'm looking at you. However, I do want to talk about a couple of things in addition to the storyline itself. The actions that placed Brenda on a direct course with Taco Bell and her own induction as a member of the villainous Corps, it's just a matter of her accepting her own title as villain that Brenda seems to be hung up on. However, there's a wonderful wealth of self-discovery for our titular Puma. She's exposed to Empire Enhancements, a place where Corps residents and operatives can go for body fulfillment. Remember, Rampart, Brenda's not gender-locked. She switches genders over the course of the story many, many times. When going from girl to boy, it seems. You can feel the absence Brenda feels when the masculine form asserts itself. It becomes its own character almost. At Empire Enhancement, she realizes that she may be able to stabilize her gender and then explores the possibilities of what is possible. We didn't really talk about it last time, Rammy, but the Corps offer a literary MacGuffin called Empire Enhancements. It's a one-stop body mod shop. You see, the genius of Karen's sandbox that she's loaned us is we get to be ourselves as we are now, and then get to modify ourselves into how we wish to be seen in this environment. I start my life as this, and then I can do what I want. Larger chest? No problem. Taller? Shorter? Easy. Do you want bits? No bits? Multiple bits? Carbon fiber bones? Robotics? The Doc Brown special? Empire does it all. Free healthcare. It's a genius addition to the literary landscape, and one of the things that truly attracts people to this setting. It shows our growth and allows us to exist as we are, and as we want to be seen. I can't help but imagine Brenda as a tall cougar with a plush body and a wonderful perf and purr.
Oh, okay. I think I want to listen to it, Star. Miss Brenda sounds really fun, and I'm kind of in her camp. If I was a super, I'd want to help people more than fight. But Star, what's up with that sound you keep making?
And what sound would that be, dear brother?
That one. It's infectious, but what's the deal? Stop perfing with me, Star. I mean, stop messing with me. What is it? Why do you keep saying that, Star?
It's Brenda. It's this little sound that she makes. I tend to think of it as an emotional beacon, a verbal onomatopoeia that allows the reader to understand that she communicates with more than just words. She is a cougar, my dear, and catamounts vocalize with more than just roars. She does the same, and I think it makes her a one-of-a-kind villain-adjacent addition to the Corps.
And her story is where?
Corps Extended Universe Online. I'll link you, my dear, down below.
But you're listening to her story, so how does it end?
Hey, you two. What's going on here?
Oh, hi, Miss Skylar. We're talking about Miss Brenda.
Oh, the Catalyst? She's great, isn't she? And wait, you taught Rampart to perf? Ugh, great. He's gonna be doing that for a week, isn't he? Anyways, hey Star, we're expected back at base in an hour, and we need to get moving if we're gonna be on time.
Of course. I'll go grab my things. Give me a moment.
Miss Skylar, Star was telling me about Miss Brenda. How does her story end? I want to listen to Miss Brenda's story. Can I listen to it? I kind of want to know how it ends. Where do I log in to download your podcast?
Huh? Podcast? Star, what have you been telling him?
Yeah, Star was listening to her story. I'm going to log in and download and listen to it. I just want to know how it ends.
Oh, Rampart. It's not a podcast. It's actually the RCG Book Club. And it's accessible only to operatives right now, so maybe your sister could loan you the reading sometime? It's agent access currently. But as far as for how the story ends, well, that's the great thing, Rampart. It's not over yet. She's still writing her story and get to grow alongside her. I can't think of a greater gift than being given the gift of seeing someone so wonderful develop into something so noble. Stories like hers and others like Autumn's, Runa's, and even Karen's, these stories are always being written. And as long as we survive, we'll tell their stories. Who knows, maybe someday I'll tell yours, Rampart. Everyone has a origin story. Well, some are epics and some are simple tales, but everyone who joins has a story worth telling.
Why, Rampart? Are you thinking of going rogue, joining the Corps, gaining a villain arc?
Not yet. Maybe after I read a few more. But, Star, can I borrow your iPod?
I'm okay with it. Maybe don't mention it to the boss right now. Come on, let's get going, Star. And by the way, Rammy, AC.
AB.
What?
Don't stay up too late, Rammy.
Stay devious, friends.
That's my line.
And I'm a villain, so I stole it. Maybe I'll give it back someday. Bye-bye.
This last September, Devious, the Digital Villainy Summit, took place online. Devious celebrates queer villainy over the course of 3 whole days, filled with dances, panels, and artwork accenting the exploits of people like you.
Thanks to your support, DVS was able to raise over $20,000 through art donations, charity streams, and a live auction. This year's charity was Transgender Education Network of Texas, a BIPOC-led education and support system for transgendered people in Texas. Congratulations to all the agents and adjacents out there whom helped create a memorable event.
We would also like to take this moment to congratulate Syntax Takes and the Monster Fucker Book Club for their deal with Fur Planet to begin publishing core literature. This is a win overall for the entire organization, and for those of you that have not yet been picked up for publishing, good luck. We wish you the best, and we look so forward to reading and holding your stories in our hands. If you wish to purchase a copy of Redline's Downfall, Induction, you may do so at furplanet.com, link down below. I suggest if you wish to hold something tangible in your hands, Fur Planet has become the core destination for our literature needs. I would like to take this opportunity to extend my most heartfelt thank yous to Skylar Starborn and Dragon Cat for helping make this video possible. Also to our wonderful Brenda Prrfer. Keep perfin'. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you all back here next time. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Toodles.